Hi, this is Charles, and I'm sitting in for Stephanie for Sky Yoga. And tonight we're going to really pay attention to more of the practice of the practice. So breaking a few things down, which is my kind of my interest and my specialty. That's going to involve paying more attention to breathing and learning something about breathing, and then going through a lot of the stretching type poses. Probably not very much in the way of conditioning tonight, because we'll spend a lot of time gently and slowly with mindfulness going through the poses. And the intention here is that this complements the rest of your practice. So whatever you learn here, you're able to take that learning and apply it in Stephanie's regular class or in any other class that you go to, or during the day for anything else. Hopefully, well, not everything else you're working on, but some things, right? One of the, I suppose, errors, or one of the natural things that I think happens to us as people is we go to a class and we work hard in the class and we do everything right in the class. And when the class is over, we don't do anything that we were doing in the class, right? So we finish with our yoga and then we jump up and we race to the car and we sit down and basically kind of forget the practice all of a sudden. That's, there's some habit involved with that. That's context driven. So one thing I'd like you to do, and I'll bring this up as we go along, I'll try to remember, is to at least imagine yourself when you're in a pose, when you're in a particular state, imagine that state in something else you do during the day. Imagine it in a different context. And what that should do, what that may do, is help when you actually get that context, when you're bending down to pick up something or you're working on something in the kitchen, that you'll remember the association back to yoga. See what I mean? So we're going to start with breathing. So get into a comfortable seat. It's very nice to have your sit bones level with or above your knees. And the reason for that is it really just makes the balance easier. It doesn't require you to engage your abdominals nearly as much. And just start with a few breaths, just on your own. Pay attention to how you're breathing right now. Be here now. There are various ways that you can breathe. What I'm interested in right now for the practice is relaxing as much of the body as we can that's involved in breathing to remove any of the barriers, the impediments to the breathing. So starting with the breathing so-called in the belly, we know our lungs aren't really in the belly, right? But pay attention to the breathing low. What happens is the diaphragm contracts. There's actually a muscle behind the diaphragm that pulls the diaphragm down, and that pushes your internal organs, which is what causes your lower body, your belly and your back and your sides to expand, to push out. That's normal. So pay attention to that for a little bit. Don't hold your core. As much as you can, relax it without falling. And let the diaphragm push things down and let your lower body expand out like a barrel, like a balloon. Notice what moves. The other part of breathing is the engagement of the intercostal muscles, which are the muscles in between the ribs. And when those muscles are engaged, that's what we use to actually expand our rib cage, front and back. And that gives even more room in the chest cavity. The combination of those, it's not our lungs that push our chest out. It's the pulling down of the diaphragm and the engagement of the intercostals that we do that in order to open space, and that causes a vacuum, and the oxygen rushes in to fill that vacuum. So your lower body, your core relaxes as much as it can to allow that pushing down. And your upper body, you engage those muscles to expand the chest and the back as much as you can. Simultaneously relax below, engage above, so that you're opening your entire chest area, making as much room as possible so your breath goes in to that vacuum. And so we breathe in from below, open up the chest above, let the chest muscles relax, and then we breathe out down. When we imagine breathing, we tend to imagine the lungs being in front. Two-thirds of your lungs, if you were to draw a straight line looking from the side or behind you. They're mostly towards your back. So feel them there. Imagine, at least. And now let's increase the awareness of that breathing. You're going to breathe in for 4 count, and then you're going to wait for 4 count. Don't hold your breath. Don't close your throat. Keep your throat open. Hover there for 4 count, and then exhale. And when you exhale, don't make as little sound as possible. Put your tongue on your lower teeth and keep your mouth open. So breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, and wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, out. 1, 2, 3, 4. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4. In. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4. In. 1, 2. This time when we get to the top, wait. And notice whether you're holding your shoulders and neck. And out. 1, 2, 3, 4. In. Wait. Are you holding neck and shoulders? If so, relax them as much as you can, and out. 2, 3, 4. In. 1, Wait, check for tension. Out. One more time, in. Wait, sink into the floor. And out. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the breathing I want you to bring to the entire practice. When we reach the pose, when we transition into the pose, do that breathing. Not necessarily the holding, but the full breathing in and out. Notice, be a witness to what that does to your muscles. So the first stretch, pretty straightforward, but I want you to do it exactly the way I said, right? So facing forward, take your left hand, put it behind you, but keep your torso facing forward. Likewise, take your right hand and put it behind your on your left thigh. You're still forward. Now we're going to twist from the bottom up. First, twisting from the waist, then into the middle body, then into the chest, finally into the neck and shoulders as you gently start to look behind you. And breathe. What happens when you're breathing? What are the restrictions? And now undo the exact opposite way. Start with the head turning. And then the upper shoulders. And then the chest. Middle body. Lower body, waist. Come back to center. Deep breath. In. Out. On the other side, reach behind you with your right arm. But don't twist yet. Left hand over the right thigh. And now from the bottom up, waist, middle back, upper back, shoulders, neck, gently, until you're looking behind. Breathe. Shoulders come down. Breathe into the floor. And untwist from the top. Head, neck, shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back, arms come around, back to center. If you're up on a bolster or sitting on a pillow, go ahead and set that aside. Come down to the floor and take your right leg and take it out away from you. Keep your left foot in front of you. Okay, so we're in kind of a little half lotusy type thing. And this can be challenging, certainly is for me. Put your right hand on your right ankle. Take your left hand and put it in line with that right leg. So draw a line from the right leg through your body, through to your left arm and your hand, which would be flat on the floor. So with your body, your chest kind of upright, you have that nice line. Okay? You'll need to engage your abs for this and probably wiggle around. Pay attention while you do this. Lift your left hand off the ground. Look toward it. Don't let it come forward. Keep it in that plane that you established. And just bring it up. Just bring it up. Gently, gently, breathing. If you can bring it directly above your head, that's great. And once you have it, or you can have it, notice as you breathe, what can you relax? What is the least you need to be stable? Do you need to lift your arms up? Like lift your shoulders up? Or can you let them drop a bit? Does your knee need to be up in there? Do you need to have your legs engaged? Or can you let those go? What happens when you breathe low in your belly? And now, like before, turn your waist. In this case, it's clockwise, so it's towards your thigh. Turn your waist first. That's going to turn your upper body. And gently turn as much as you can without hurting yourself. And you'll be kind of facing now your leg, your outstretched leg. Let your left arm come down to your outstretched leg. And now you're at kind of an upright stretch for the hamstrings, right? That's the three muscles in the back of the leg. If I can remember them, let's do a quick test on me. That's the femoral biceps, the semipembranosus, and the semitendinosus. But don't ask me exactly where they are. In this position, don't lean over. Don't lean over with your back, at least. If you're going to increase the stretch, go forward with your low body. Stay upright in alignment, and only go forward with the low body. You may not get very far. That's okay. Breathe, deep breath. Now gently release that pose. Come back upright. Gently turn back to center. Bring the outstretched leg, the right leg into you. Take your left leg and stretch it out. So now you're back with a kind of a V shape in front of you. Left hand is on your left ankle, roughly, wherever you can get to. Maybe a little bit higher than that, that's okay. Right hand comes out to your right side. So you've got that line of the leg through the body to the hand flat on the floor. Get yourself stable. Look to your right. And start lifting that hand up. Try to keep it on the side. This is a bit of a side bend. That's why we're doing it. And deep breaths. Here's a little rule of thumb for the day that you can take into the rest of your practice. The more stressful the exercise, the higher the effort, the smoother the breathing. Okay? The higher the effort, the smoother the breathing. Now start that twist on the bottom in your waist. Start moving forward, start turning forward from the bottom up your left thigh. And when you get around there, take your arm down. And now we're into the hamstring stretch. So why is that? Why do I say that? The higher the effort, the smoother the breathing. Well, for one thing, it allows you to breathe a little bit better, I think. But another is if you start breathing shallowly while you're working out, while you're exercise, you're probably not getting as much breath as you need. It's a signal to you that you might be working too hard and you need to back off a bit. And the third is that we associate shallow breathing with stress response, with adrenal stress response, right? That's the fight, flight, freeze, faint, which means that the cortisol levels may be going up. It's exactly what we don't want to be teaching ourselves in yoga, right? Is having shallow breathing and be associating our yoga with danger. Deep breaths. There's nothing dangerous here. And release. Gently. Notice the transition. And come back to center. Okay, I have to check my notes. Okay, cats and cows. We're going to do cats and cows my way. So come into pay attention to transition again. Gently, smoothly, beautifully, move into the next posture. So get into tabletop. Stack the joints. Take your glasses off if you have to, like I do. And we're going to start with a cow. And of course, we're going to do it very slowly, paying attention the entire way. So starting from your tabletop position, neutral body, neutral neck. In other words, your neck is aligned as if you were just standing up. So don't lift your chin up. Keep your eyes on the ground. And from this position, first start pushing down with your belly button, your lower back. Just start there. Pushing down. Pushing down, not like Arnold Schwarzenegger, just like you. And now moving to the middle of the back, pushing down. Make sure your shoulders aren't hunching forward 2 ears. You're in a nice natural posture. Now your upper back pushing down. I mean, your shoulder blades are coming together. And from this, now your entire back is going down. Your neck should still be relaxed. Check that a little bit. Move it a little bit side to side. Now with your chin slightly tucked, try to lift your chest while you're also pressing down. Lifting the chest with the chin slightly tucked. And then at the last moment, then you can raise your eyes to the wall. Breathe. This is intense. Relax your legs. Relax your arms as much as you can. Breathe out and reverse that very gently. Come back slowly and gently back to neutral. So we've done a back bend. Whenever you do a back bend, you should do a forward bend, but the reverse is not true. So starting back in our neutral position, this time we're going to really pay attention to neck and shoulders. Drop your head, gently drop it, not like a basketball, so that it's hanging. And the test for that, the proof of that, is just moving your head slightly side to side, or slightly in a very small circle. And noticing whether you're tucking the chin or raising your head up. So you're neutral again. Now, starting from your lower back, pushing the belly button to the sky. This is the tricky one. As you do that, simultaneously pay attention to your head and make sure that it stays hanging and loose as you raise your lower back, pushing your abdominals toward the sky. The tendency is to grip the neck. Go slowly and notice. Keep working your way up your spine. Good relaxed neck, hang it until you get to your upper back. Pushing up, but still your head is just hanging like it's on a slinky. Deep breaths. And reverse that, gently, slowly come back to neutral. From this neutral position, now we do our horse pose. Horse bites butt is what I always like to call it. Stephanie doesn't like it when I call it that. So from this position, turn your head so it's looking kind of over the right shoulder, not lifting it. Just turn it like it's a cylinder. And then need to kind of, as if you're pinching your butt and your right shoulder together, okay? So pretend your left side is against a wall. You can't go that way. The only way to go is to pinch those two together. So that's a bit of a stretch again on the left side and also a bit on the right side. But here's a question for you. When you're doing that stretch, are you pushing your lower back down? Or are you keeping it neutral? Or are you lifting it? Notice I didn't say which is right. Breathe. And return to neutral. Undo all that. And the other side. Turn your head. And pinch the left hip toward the left shoulder. And the left shoulder toward the left hip. Pay attention. What's happening in your arms, in your head, in your feet, in your jaw? Breathe. And release back to neutral, gently. Okay? So transition yourself smoothly, beautifully, like a dancer would, to lying down on your back. And with your knees up, feet just a little bit away from your body. And take a couple of breaths, just hang out here for a moment. All right, so from this position, engaging as little of the rest of your body as you can. Push your lower back and your belly button toward the sky. So that's going to roll you up slightly, but it's only your lower back that's coming off the ground. You're engaging the lumbar muscles to do this. So you've created space, maybe a fist, maybe less, underneath your lower back. Your shoulders are relaxed. Your legs and your butt are relaxed. Your neck is relaxed. Check that. Can you take your neck side to side? This is isolation of the muscles, which means you have to be aware of the whole rest of your body. Proprioception, awareness of your body in space. Breathe and relax. And now reverse that. So now you push your lower back to the ground. Push it down. Once again, you're engaging your abdominals, your front abdominals, to push down, but you don't need to engage anything else. Make sure your legs are relaxed. Your upper chest is as relaxed as it can be. Your neck and your shoulders, your arms. And deep breaths. Breathe low into the abdominals. Breathe out and relax. So I didn't really lie, but those are both actually some conditioning, right? You're really engaging and doing some work on your abdominals, on your core at that point. Bring your heels to as close to your butt as you can. And now engaging your abdominals first. You're going to raise your butt off the ground, lifting your lower body, your hips to the sky. Keep the knees close together. This is a quadricep stretch. Arch. And as you can imagine, I'm going to say, check in. What's tense that doesn't need to be? And breathe. Okay, gently start lowering down. This is where Stephanie says, and I agree with her, I like this. Start the lowering down from your upper back. Imagine it being one vertebra at a time. Keep your abdominals engaged as you do this. Control this descent. All the way down, uncurling. Until you're back to being relaxed. Okay. So let's do some reclined pigeon. Take your left ankle and put it over your right thigh. We're going to skip the pushing away portion and reach through. So your left leg, your left arm goes through that little triangle space. Right arm goes around. I like to lift up here. So I kind of do a crunch, lifting up my upper body, reach through, grab your ankle or your thigh, and then lower. I lower my back to the ground and lower my shoulders. Okay? So my upper body is in as neutral of a position as if I were just sitting or lying back. And if I want to increase the stretch, pull the elbows down. Don't have the elbows flare out. Just let them come down. That'll bring that thigh towards you. And here's a form thing for you. Is your take your the leg you're pulling and take it a little bit to the right. and maybe a little bit to the left. Where do you get more of a stretch in your glutes? It's that piriformis muscle that we like to keep stretched because that way it doesn't impinge on the sciatic nerve. In my case, if I take my leg to the right, that means my foot is going to the right, I actually get more of a stretch. Deep breath. That felt good. Another deep breath. Letting out. Lower the leg to the ground. And the other foot to the ground. Bring the right foot, the right ankle over the left thigh. Reach through. If you want to have some fun, if you laced your fingers before, lace them the other way. So the other index finger is on top. That'll feel funny. And come to the ground. And isolate that stretch. Only engage the muscles you need to. And breathe. And let it down. Nice and easy. Engage as needed. And I'm being advised to start wrapping this up. It is now 7:10. Okay. Let me see if there's one more that I wanted to do here. Yeah. We'll do a variation on the knee down stretch, something that is inspired by Stephanie. So from your reclined position, arms out to the sides, knees up. This is the beginning of John's pose. And lower the knees to the right side. Now, take the knee that's on top, that's in my case, that's my left knee, and take that knee down to your right foot, and take your right foot and put it on top of that left knee. So what that does is that it naturally provides some weight on that left knee and left side, and that increases the stretch in the, in my case, it's in the left outer abdominals and a little bit in those, in the lumbars. Breathe. Okay, now put that right foot, unhook it, I suppose, put it back below and bring that top knee, bring it back up and put it in line directly above the lower knee. Take your right arm, put it on top of the top thigh. And this is the classic, right? Classic twist. Now bring that knee towards you, bring it towards your head. Again, kind of sliding along until your left foot is directly above and sort of on top of your right knee. And this is a variation on the on pigeon. Check in with your body. What doesn't need to be tense? Breathe. Smile here might be nice. It feels good. Now continue that movement with that knee that's on top. Keep bringing it up and across your chest. Transfer it to your left hand. Reach down, take your right knee and your right hand. Bring that up, transfer it over until the knees are together and you're in a hug. Let the knees come forward until they're directly above the hips. And gently take them with control, smoothly to the left side. And when you get there, take that right knee, the one that's on top, take it down to your left foot, put your left foot on top of it, and just hang out here. Enjoy the feeling of your body, helping your body. Is your neck tense? How about your forehead? Are you gripping your abdominals, or are you letting them relax as much as they can? I wasn't, so now I am. Release your foot and bring that top knee bring it up until it's on top of the lower knee. And take your left hand and put it on top of your leg and just let that be the weight. And now bring the knee, continue its journey up until your right foot is directly above the knee. And feeling that stretch in your gluteal muscle. And continue that orbit. Bring the knee up towards your chest, transfer to the right arm, to the right hand. Bring your left knee up, hold on to it with your left hand. Bring them both together, nice, right in front of your chest, into a hug. If you like, bring chin to knees, head to knees. Come back down. With beauty, take the feet back down to the floor. Engage the abs while you do that. Extend your legs to the floor. If you want to, you get your bolster, whatever you need to be comfortable, because you are now in Shavasana. Shavasana is very important. Of course, we start with meditation. We start with our breathing. We end with Shavasana. We end with meditation and breathing, because we need that period of time to give the brain and the synapses in the brain and the connection, the myelin, not the myelin, that's wrong, but the sheath that's around the axons, time to strengthen, because they just learned a whole bunch. You just spend 45 minutes of learning. And now is the time for the brain to understand what it just learned. So breathe. Be here now. Part of the meditation here, I apologize for interrupting you, is that your mind is going to wander. It's normal. Our minds wander. We spend about over 40% of the time in wandering mode. Part of the practice of our meditation is then to come back and be attentive and mindful to our breathing so that we engage our task mind. Our task mind is harder. There's more effort. Our wandering mind is easy. But our wandering mind is in the past and in the future. Our task mind is in the present. And there's some research that says that we're a little bit happier when we're on task mode. If we're thinking about the past and the future, our default, it's not always pleasant. So that's some of the science behind meditation. Don't punish yourself if you wander. Just come back to it. Gently, with confidence, roll to your right side. And with whatever arm isn't on the ground, so the opposite of that arm, put your hand right next to your chest. And just like a dancer, push yourself up into seated position. Smoothly and elegantly bring yourself into whatever sitting pose, meditation pose you want to be in. Take those last couple of breaths. So free your breaths are now. Just so free. Thanks so much for practicing with me. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of the night. Namaste.